Hello and welcome. Now we are on a final stage of our multi-container application. Here, we are doing all this because we are not using smart way. Here we are creating each and every components manually. You will understand smart way from the next video because then we will install same application using Docker Compose. But here we have to go through the last step. Let's complete this. We are going to create PHP container for our web application. So let's start. First of all, here we have Dockerfile. So we have to go to the PHP web server folder. As you know that I already provided you all the source code. So here in the source code, you will get this PHP web server. So I am going inside this, and here I am getting mainly two files, Dockerfile and index.php. We have one submit.php as well. So we have mainly three files. We need to understand all these files. Okay. So let's start with the Docker file for PHP container. Now, if you open this file here, you will find out that here we are going to use all this. I'm going to explain you all. Let's go with this. This is our Docker file. So here, let me close all this. We will open everything step by step. The first is always starting with the from PHP. So here we have from PHP 7.4-Apache. This is base image. This line specifies the base image for Docker image you are building. So a base image is required. For our MySQL DB, we use MySQL latest image. Here we are using PHP. Again, the main advantage is we do not need to install PHP separately. We will have one container with PHP pre-installed. PHP 7.4 Apache is official Docker image from Docker Hub that comes with a PHP version 7.4 and Apache web server pre-installed. So we have PHP and Apache ready to install. So we are not going to install manually. But here we are going to run this particular command, Docker PHP extension PDO MySQL. Why? Let me explain you this as well. This is like a single command. See, run docker -php -ext install PDO underscore MySQL. Why we are using this and why we are running this command here? As you know that when we are using run command, it will install any application or extension here. This line runs the command to install PHP extension. See, we have PHP ready. We don't need to do anything for PHP. But here we are running this particular command here to install PHP extension. Now, why we have this requirement? Because Docker PHP ext install is a helper script provided by official PHP images to simplify the installation of PHP extension. So this command is actually used to install any extension. Now, which is extension we are installing and why we needed this? So PDO and PDO underscore MySQL are PHP extension required to interact with MySQL database using PDO. PHP data object, a database access layer, provides the uniform method to access multiple database. As you know that this PHP web application will have one web page, and from this web page, we will store this data, and this data will store inside DB container. It means PHP needs to communicate with our DB container, which is actually MySQL. Here we have special case. We want PHP, but this PHP can communicate with our MySQL database, and for this we have to have one additional functionality, and we need to install this extension. Now you may have this question like from where you are getting all this detail. You will get all this detail from document. You just need to Google or just ask ChatGPT that I want my PHP container to communicate with my DB container. What is requirement? It will provide you all this detail. Okay. Now the second command is copy ./var www.html. Now what is the meaning of this? Whatever I have in this particular current directory, if you look at this in current directory, I have, let me give ls command. I have two files, index.php and submit.php. So both of this file will be copied here in the root of Apache web server. Apache root is where www, so both files will be copied here into this directory. This line copies the files and directory from the build context, the directory where the Docker file is located, to the specific path of the container file system. Dot refer the current directory, where HTML is a default document root directory for Apache web server in the container. There is where the PHP web files will be placed and making them accessible. Whatever the file we have inside the where www.html will be open here. Okay, so this is going to copy the files. Now set working directory. Now the line set working directory for run cmd endpoint copy and add instruction that follows the Docker file. Now whenever after setting up working directory, whatever the command that you will provide, okay, will be executed from this particular directory. So it is going to copy all the files, like we have 2 files here. It is going to copy these 2 files here in this directory, and then we will execute all the command from this particular directory. And then we have exposed. This line informs Docker that the container will listen the port number 80. Now if you are new and you are just having this Docker file, and from this Docker file you have created image, and from this image if you are creating container, you have to find out that okay, this container is going to run on port number 80. So we have to expose port number 80 of the Docker container. This is for the documentation only. The real port will be open when you will give container run a Docker run command, and with switch P you will expose particular port. Port 80 is a default for HTTP traffic. Note that the export does not publish the port to host machine. It is just documentation. The port will open or expose with the Docker run command. Now we got exact idea that what is the functionality of Docker file, but we have to understand the index file as well. Now this is the index file we have. Okay, let me go to this. You will find out that here we have index file. Now look at this. This is the same file that I have here. I just copy and paste it here. Now I want to ask you one question. Are you PHP developer? Yes or no? If you are PHP developer, okay, you can understand this particular file. I am not. And when we are learning DevOps, definitely we are not, because it is out of our field. Here, somebody created this file, someone created this file and they provided me. And in the real world, it is also the same. Programmer, PHP developer will provide this file. So if I am going to explain you anything about this file, like what is the meaning of margin and padding and all this, it is like not required. It will only waste our time. We will get this file directly from the PHP developer. They will provide us and we just need to use this. So this page is welcome page. I'm just giving you page introduction. This page is a welcome user to the CloudFolks HUB Docker Compose demo. It is nice gradient background, and from where user can enter the first name, last name and email. When you click submit, the information is sent to another page, submit.php to process. So this is what this file is actually doing. We don't need to understand all this from this particular file. Now the second file we have is actually submit.php. Okay, now this is most important part. We need to understand this. First of all, you need to understand the use case. Let me close all this.
Sorry guys, sorry to disturb you. I know you all are enjoying the session and suddenly it stopped. But if you want full video or if you want full Docker course having 130 plus videos including projects, you can become our community member. Enrollment link is in description. Moreover, we also provide 24/7 support, weekly lifetime live session with Bhavesh Atara, updates and completion certification as well. Still you have any queries regarding it, you can contact me on my personal number. Thank you.